What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, so we're back at it in the forest doing a little PvP action now. This video I'm doing some high level PvP. As a matter of fact, I think I'm level 235. Now some of you may ask yourself like, dude, why are you going so high? Well, if you guys have watched the You Mad Bro video that I also uploaded, then you would kind of understand why I'm at a level so high. I was kind of in a situation where I started off in a 1v1. I was 125, and I find out that my opponent, after about 5 or 6 matches, was actually above level 200. So later on, further down the match, I decided to upgrade my build. Right. So, after those series of matches, I said, you know what, let me just kind of go into the forest and get some good PvP. So what I did was, I brought my endurance all the way up in addition to my vitality. And now I'm at 235. Right. So basically my build is 99 vitality, 99 endurance, and actually I really didn't even need the 99 endurance to tell the truth, but I just kind of brought it up. 40 strength and 40 dexterity, no pyro, no faith, no intelligence, pure melee, like 90% of my PvP characters. Now, first and foremost, I have absolutely no respect for forest guys. Right? I hate these guys with a passion. Every single one of them. Right? Because, in my personal opinion, these guys, their gameplay stinks. Right? Because most of their gameplay, to the extent that you guys have been in the forest and camped, you've been by yourself. Right? Because all of you guys that are forest hunter camping, right? With your little bros, you and 2 other people. I'm not talking about you guys, because you guys suck too, because you only play in mobs. That's where your strength comes. I'm talking about when you're kind of, for all the guys that have been kind of by yourself, and you say, you know what, let me kind of just get some exciting PvP by taking on as many invaders as I can. You would know that most of these guys are cheap players. Now, what exactly do I mean by cheap players? Well, let me kind of explain it. Now, for you guys to kind of keep your little summon ring on pretty often, and let's just say you're, playing for let's just say 2 hours at a time. In most cases, if you're keeping your ring on, you invade the same guys over and over again. It is very rare that every single invasion, right, you invade different people. So you basically know what you're running into once you see the world that you're invading. Case in point, several of these matches, I get the same guys invading me. They know I'm by myself. They can see that I'm by myself. They know and see that I have no hornet rings. However, when you look at their playstyles, right, because case in point, I just BS'd them, and I think that BS damage, I don't remember, but it definitely wasn't, 1200, 1100, anything like that. It was just a regular BS, because obviously I don't have a hornet ring. I'm rocking the Havel's ring and the ring of favor of protection. Right, but this is what you see. You notice that? Spammers. It doesn't even matter whether you're by yourself or you have some bros with you doing a little co-op camping. It doesn't matter. These guys suck. Either they spam miracles, spam pyromancy, or they're having a hornet ring, or they're ninja flipping in full armors and some kind of ridiculous ultra great sword, or great axe, or ultra great, something like that. And this is why I have no respect for them. The vast majority of them are tryhards, spam weapons, or using a hornet ring. Now, for some of you forest guys who will say, look dude, your observations are unfair because we have to face guys with hornet rings. Oh really? Okay, but guess what? You're not always facing guys with hornet rings. And if your standards are conditional, this is a perfect example. These are the same people who have been invading me over and over again. They know I'm not using the Hornet Ring. They see that I'm by myself. But these guys are some of the weakest players. Because, in other words, if it's not for their Hornet Rings, what else do they have? They don't have anything. And actually, let me take that back. If it's not for the Hornet Rings, the only thing that they have is spamming their little magics, spamming their little, pyromancies, or spamming their little ridiculous Wrath of the Gods. And this is why I have no respect for these clowns. Now, I know some of you guys will say, well, some of us are honorable, not all of us play like that. Case in point, there's an uploader that I'm subscribed to, good old Seraphim17. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And actually, I've watched a few of his videos. I've just recently subscribed to his channel. Look at him, spamming that Wrath of Gods. Whatever, dude, get off it. So I've subscribed to his channel, and he kind of does a lot of forest hunting in addition to other invasions. And from what I see, in the videos that I've watched, I haven't noticed one where he's using a Hornet. Sometimes he bows to the person that he's invading. And that's good for good old Seraphim17. And, I kind of hear about the complaints that he have about the people that he invades. Right? But one thing that I'll say is for every Seraphim17, you have about 20 dirty forest invaders. Dirty meaning their existence as a forest invader relies heavily on spamming pyros, spamming miracles, spamming sorceries, or Hornet Rings. If it weren't for that, those guys would have zero game. Because just notice some of the guys that I'm playing. What is their A plan? Looking for BS with the Hornet Ring. What's their B plan? Spamming. See, look how they play. Spamming R1. Come on, dude. Now, I'm not trying to say that none of these guys have skills. Right? I would definitely not say that because I've been tightened up a number of times by forest hunters. Right? With no Hornet Rings. I mean, they just outplayed me flat out. But, what I would say with regard to that is that number is very few and far in between. Now, another thing that's kind of funny to me with regard to whenever I decide to do some forest hunting. The last video that I did on this type of material, the series is titled The Hunters or the Hunted. Right? And in that two-part video series, for which this will also be a two-part video series. But in that two-part video series, I received several comments of these ridiculous guys talking about oh, you're horrible, you're in the forest and you're popping humanity and you're healing and you're using a Hornet Ring. Now, the ironic thing about it is they don't say anything about the fact that I'm fighting against two people. I don't summon help. And in many cases, both players have Hornet Rings. Neither do they acknowledge the fact that I don't use any pyromancies. I don't use any Wrath of the Gods to back people off. I don't use any spells. I'm pure melee. Sword, shield, bow, maybe a knife or a rapier. Right? Doesn't say anything about that, but it's just you're horrible because you're using human. Listen, dude, you guys need to get off it. Because a lot of you guys who are making comments about, what is good and what is not, are not doing the things that, are displayed in that video. A lot of you guys that make those type of comments are not in the forest by yourself camping. And if you are, more likely than not, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. Because when you're faced against multiple people, all is fair in my personal opinion. If I'm all by myself and I'm faced against at least two guys, hey, I'm doing whatever I have to do to win. Right? So off with your heads to all you guys that have comments with regard to me being by myself. And you're saying, oh, you're cheap and oh, you're this and oh, you're that. Right? Because this time you won't have anything to say. Because I'm by myself and I don't even have a Hornet Ring. Right? Alright. So it is what it is in the forest. And I guess the argument is all is fair when you're in the forest. Yeah, all is fair, but at the end of the day, there's just, I mean, I'm not going to reduce myself to a certain type of playstyle, because I don't need it in some cases. Right? In some cases, I definitely don't need it. Right? And actually, you guys will see, because in this two-part series, it is basically a full, I think it was like an hour and a half. I just sat in here and camped, and the only thing that I deleted was the dead times. You'll see when I die. Right, you'll see my wins, you'll see my losses, because, I mean, I'm not trying to save face. I don't have anything to prove. I mean, it is what it is. It's a game. You win some, you lose some. And I'm inclined to believe that you can learn something from both victories and defeats. Alright, so I kind of ran into some downtime. So here's an invasion in between matches. Here we go. Got the classics. We got the classics, Havel Shield. Okay, so let me guess. Either Pyro or Wrath of the Gods. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Somebody even tried to cast Tranquil Walk of Peace. These guys are scum of the earth. Are you serious? 2 guys with Black Knight Great Axes. 1 pretty much in full Havels. And you still need Tranquil Walk for 1 guy? These guys are scum. You know, and the funny thing about it is, another point that I like to bring out is, what will these clowns do once the DLC is out? Right? What will these guys really do? And actually, I think that's what I might title this video. What will these guys do when the DLC is released? Because you won't see none of this ninja flipping guys in full Havels. You know, you won't see none of this. And look at him looking skyward. Come on, guy. Guys suck. You casting twop and you're looking skyward. Come on, dude. I just want to know what these guys are going to do. Right? Because the Hornet Ring has been nerfed. And they won't be ninja flipping. I can guarantee he's going to be looking for a BS in a second. And if he doesn't, he's going to be spamming his little gray combustion. Come on, dude. I know what you want to do. Go ahead, keep spamming your castings. That's all you have. That's your B plan. If you're not using your B plan, you're using your Hornet Ring A plan. With his little fancy dancy, you know, spell cancels. Come on, dude. No one cares about your spell cancels. Right? Alright. So let me just kind of back off a little bit. Pop me a quick humanity. Alright. So he kind of got me a second time with that Fire Tempest. Come on, man. Whatever. Alright, so he cast a little quick miracle. Tried to get me to wake up Wrath of the Gods, but I was a little too early on the draw and he was too late. So I imagine he's going to try to hit my back again. And look at him. Hornet Ring, Miracle and Pyro spamming. Look what he's doing, healing. Come on, dude. Get over it. All the odds are in your favor, right? I don't have any castings to back you off. I don't have any area effects. I don't have any of that. No, I'm not even using a Hornet Ring. So with all these odds in your favor, and this is why I have no respect for these clowns. They suck at the end of the day. Many of them, like I said. Now there's some of them. You know, I've seen some guys, like I know Fourth Sequence, he's kind of in the Forest Covenant. You know, he does his little fancy dancy homing crystal soul mask, along with his spell sword. He's kind of tight with those. But like I said before, good forest guys like those are very far and few between. Alright. So let's get on with it. Kind of switch out my weapons a little bit. Now I'd like to give a shout out to this guy. I think he's a good forest guy. Right? Mainly because he doesn't need a fort. He doesn't need a Hornet Ring. He's basically playing me straight up. Now, he also has Wrath of the Gods, but he's not spamming it. Right? So he's just a straight up player. So I'll give a shout out to him, and actually I'll play him a few times. And the fact that he's giving me a 2v1, I don't care about that. Right? Who cares about a 2v1? He's a forest hunter, so I don't mind that. But when it's 2v1 with Hornet Rings and spells, you know, I mean, that's just, I don't know, it seems a little desperate to me and a little try hard. Because a lot of these guys can't do anything without it. Alright, negated that backstab attempt. Ouch. That really hurts. Alright, so we're back at it with Mr. Flying Toaster. Whatever that means. Come on, dude. What are you doing? Let's get it on. Alright, so we have a turtle. Come on, dude. Get off it. I hate these guys with turtle. I mean, like, seriously. Like, I can understand if you're kind of turtling when your vitality is relatively low. But come on, dude. The match just started. There's no need to... And see, that's one reason why I hate the Darkwood Grain Ring. You guys notice that? I swung 3 times and he didn't take even 1 point of damage. Those invincibility frames are ridiculous, and this is why I definitely can't wait until that DLC is released. Because, in other words, what would these guys be able to do without their high poise and invincibility frames? What would they do? They'll be nowhere. Right? They're going to have to compromise like they should have been able to compromise a long time ago. Can't wait till the 24th. Right? And for all you guys that, you know, kind of weren't sure, according to what I have read, the 24th will be the official release date of the DLC on the consoles. Right? So I'll definitely be back on the consoles. But, I mean, I will kind of be visiting the PC. From what I've heard, the Xbox and the PC guys will share servers. And to the extent that that's true, I would definitely be on there. Mainly because the lag on the PS3 just sucks and is a turn off. I didn't really realize it until I had something to compare it with. But now that I've been able to play the PC, and I've been able to experience for myself that backstabbing, or what they call lag stabbing, is not really that bad. You know, and to the extent that Xbox guys and PC guys have the same servers, look, if you guys have nothing to complain about with regards to so-called lag stabbing, because it is nearly not as bad as it is on PS3. You know, that lag on PS3 sucks. Really. It's just absolutely awful. Alright, so I'm pulling out a little pike action. And we got a spell sword. Look like he just has either, I don't know if that's a barbed sword, or is that a regular long or short sword? I'm not really sure. Actually, next time it hits me, if I see my bleed meter go up, then I know it would be that barbed sword that the good old Thorns guy uses. Alright, so you're trying to close in the distance. Come on, dude. Come on back with your little Wrath of the Gods. Hopefully I can inflict him with poison. And that'll go ahead and take care of that small amount of vitality he has. Come on, dude. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Alright, so I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this will be a 2-part video series. Come on, dude, get off here with the bows. Right? Now, for all you honor dudes, all you guys in the honor brigade out there who kind of get ticked off at me kick him while he's gesturing, listen, you guys need to keep in mind the conditions that I'm faced against. Far too many times have I returned a gesture just to have another forest hunter or some other type of invader come behind me and BS me. right? This is not an environment where it is basically a 1v1 PvP matches. You know, this is not the Berg. You know, this is not some of these other areas where, you know, you're pretty sure to have a 1v1. This is the forest. A lot of times you'll get invasions, and some guys, they'll just hide out until their little homeboys arrive. Right? And because I know that, I don't have time for gestures. I don't have time for waving, because I am not going to be a victim, because I'm trying to demonstrate some type of, you know, politeness. You know, what you call, you know, what some of you guys call respect. I don't have time for it. Now, we're in the Berg, you gesture, hey, I'll return you a gesture in most cases. We're somewhere else, you know, Ullasil Township, I'll return a gesture. But not here in the forest. There's too many, you know, bottom-feeding, super bloodthirsty forest invaders out there that's desperate for a win with their little hornet rings or their little, you know, crystal soul spears and everything else that they have in their arsenals. So I don't have time for it. Alright. So let's see. And actually, I don't know why this guy keep casting this miracle, because I'm not using any type of, I'm not using anything. I don't know why he would be using Great Magic Barrier. I guess he's been running into some guys who's been using castings. So, I mean, it's cool. He's got his little high-speed spell sword. A little too late on that parry. Actually, a little too early. Alright, so let's see, can we get some good old Murakumo action? That thing definitely hurts. Alright, so he's trying to create a little distance with that Wrath of the Gods, and he's gonna, well, he's not doing anything right now. He's not doing anything right now. Alright. So let's see, who do we have next? And I love kind of doing some camping in the forest. It's kind of exciting, you know, because any given moment you can go from fighting one guy to trying to fight off two. Alright, so I'm getting trolled again by the same. I hate when this happens. Now, you know, even though I hate when this happens, I'll give this guy credit. I mean, he's using the symbol of avarice, and at least I know where he is, you know, because some guys, they'll use their little fog rings and they'll hide off in the distance, and you'll go from having frequent invasions to little to no invasions, mainly because one of the forest guys are occupying one of your slots. So yeah, see, here's another example. What are these guys going to do when the DLC comes out? Now check this guy out. He's using the Giant's chestplate, Smo's headpiece, Smo's boots, and he's ninja flipping. See, what will players like this be able to do once the DLC is here? Right? Because to the extent that you guys are unaware, that Darkwood Grain Ring has been nerfed. It has definitely received a well-deserved nerf. It's gone from a 50% weight requirement to a 25% weight requirement. And it should have. And actually it should have a long time ago. So I don't know. We'll see. Because the face of PvP will definitely change. As a matter of fact, some of these guys are so bad in PvP in the forest, I'm inclined to believe that some of them will probably have to go to a Sunbro Covenant. Right? Or some of those co-op covenants. Because what would they do? Right? Their A and their B plans will be, you know, they've been nerfed. Right? Hornet Rings is going down to 30% damage. Darkwood Grain Rings has been nerfed down to 25%. So what would they do? What would they have? What would the tactics be? I guess their A plan will turn from Darkwood Grain Ring and Hornet Rings just to spamming. Right? Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure some of them will still use the Hornet Ring, but it won't inflict, 12 and 1300 damage like it used to. So, there will be less of a threat. Alright, so I got Troll again. He's back at it. Alright, so let's go ahead and take care of him. Excuse me. Because, see, the thing is, number one, I don't want my invasions to freeze up. Right? Because if he maintains that spot, that'll only leave a space for one invader. But that kind of defeats the purpose. Right? That's kind of like the fun thing about forced invasions. Alright. So I pulled out my trusty javelin. Now, one thing about me, I really prefer the bows over the crossbows. Number one, the bows shoot faster. Number two, you have the option to have either fire or poison arrows, for which I think the poison arrows are a better option. And I think they're a little more accurate. Lastly, I think you're least likely to be punished with the bow as opposed to the crossbow. As most of you know, you have to recharge with the crossbow after every shot. Right? And that's about, I would say, maybe 1 or 2 seconds. But that 1 or 2 seconds could equate to a backstab. Whereas with the bow, it's just basically, a 1 second shot. Very low recovery time. So it's not really that bad. Because I know a lot of guys, they say, the Javelin's OP. Now, granted, you may shoot off like 3 of those bolts. But at the end of the day, you get the status effects with the bows and arrows. Number two, your recovery time is a lot shorter than what it would be with the Javelin in the event that you miss. Right. So, alright, that'll be the end of it for the most part for part 1. So, stand by for part 2. Martyr's Brigade is out.